DSU in the building. Hi, everyone. We're just gonna wait for Taylor to join and a couple more people to hop on. Okay, I had to make sure I was on the right page. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. We're just gonna wait a few minutes, wait for a couple people to join, and wait for our special guests to hop on. Hi, HBCU Post. Just give us a couple minutes, just hang in there. Y'all coming in, y'all coming in. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. So excited. I'm so excited, too. I can't wait. This is going to be a great interview. I'm very excited. It's my sister queen, so you know we're about to have fun. Got 4 people in here. Keep them coming. Send this live to your friends, you know. Get it out there. In the meantime, while you guys are here, be sure to check out the link in the bio to a Queen Series book written by Randall Barnes. Make sure you guys check that out. It's a great book about the real stories of HBCU royalty, so make sure you guys check that out. Yeah. Oh, look, she's in here. Okay. Howard is in the building. Hi, everyone. Okay, we're just gonna give it a couple more minutes. But in the meantime, how is everybody doing today? How's your quarantine? Okay, I just accepted her. 1 second, y'all. Hey, Queen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm cool. Crazy thing just happened to me, or it's not that crazy, but the reason I'm like a few minutes late is because I was coming back from the grocery store and I saw this dog was running around in my neighborhood. And at first I thought maybe it was a stray dog or maybe like a coyote or something, because we have those in my neighborhood. And but he had a collar on. And so I was like, oh no, this is somebody's dog. So I literally spent like the last 20 minutes like trying to chase down this dog. And so now he's attached to my front door. Because we're trying to figure out if we can find his owner or something.
That was nice of you, though. At least you didn't let him just like go astray.
I know, I just felt bad. I was like, oh no, is this? I was like knocking on my neighbor's doors, like, is this your dog?
Really?
So,
I hope they find him.
Me too. Me too.
But how's your day going?
Other than that, it's been cool. It's been cool.
So Taylor's a superhero on the side. I'd love to see it.
No, now I'm all sweaty.
Okay, so. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all good.
Okay, so we basically get right into it. So I guess I'll introduce myself. So my name is Ashlee Davis, and I currently serve as the 64th Delaware State University, and I'm also the face of a Queen Series, which is why I'm doing this interviewing Miss Howard. So if you want to tell us a little short bio about yourself and what you do, who you are, that would be great.
Yeah, so my name is Taylor Davis. I'm a rising senior at Howard University, obviously, and I actually study marketing. I recently switched my major to marketing from international business, and I'm originally from, I call it fake Dallas. It's this little suburb right outside of Dallas called Allen, Texas. And I always love talking about just my kind of journey to Howard and how I got there, because Howard was actually a last minute decision for me, but it's the best decision I think I've ever made. But so I was actually going to go to LSU because just kind of, I like a lot of similar people, or a lot of people, we kind of share that similar experience, that I was kind of like the only Black girl in my classes, and just going to predominantly white schools. And so no one was really talking about HBCUs. So I kind of settled, I think, deciding I was going to go to LSU. But then last minute, I decided I wanted to try an HBCU experience, and it's literally the best decision I've ever made. So I try to just in any capacity I can share my love for HBCUs, and just different like internships I've had and experiences. Like I love kids as well. I think investing in young children of color, young Black children is super important. It's something that I take very seriously too. So I always just try to, you know, share my love for Howard, but also just share my love for HBCUs as a whole. And I'm currently interning with Apple Music. I really am passionate about entertainment and media. So I want to do that. And the goal that I have just within entertainment, I want to make sure that young students of color, young Black students of color, have just positive affirmations of themselves, like in the media, and they can relate to the people that they see in our media. So that's a little bit about myself.
I love it. Wow, that's great. So do you plan on like continuing to work for Apple after graduation? Like, is that something you see in your future, or is that just something like for the summertime?
I hope so. I've had a really positive experience with Apple, especially just in light of everything going on in the world. I feel like they reacted really well to it, and just as a like Black intern, as a Black employee at Apple, I felt very supported, and also just felt very comfortable and free voicing, you know, how I feel about the situation. And I feel like people are very susceptible and just open to hearing what I have to say. So yeah, it's been a really positive experience. I would definitely love to come back. So, you know, fingers crossed.
Right. Wait, so besides, I know that before you were Miss Howard, you were Miss School of Business. Were you like, you held any other queen positions on campus?
Queen positions, no. I was Miss, and at Howard we kind of do it differently than a lot of other schools. Instead of like Mr. and Miss Freshman, Sophomore, Junior, Senior, we have Mr. and Mrs. of our schools and colleges. But we do have a Mr. and Miss Freshman. And I actually wanted to be Miss Freshman when I came to campus, but I missed the interest meeting. So, so I always tell people like who like want to be Miss Howard, or feel like, oh, I wasn't Miss Freshman. I'm like, it's fine. You know, and even like people, when I was Miss School of Business, we just got to attend like the Mr. and Miss Freshman interest meeting, and I was just telling people like, you're in a much better spot than I was freshman year, because I just straight up missed the meeting, had no idea what was happening. So yeah, but Howard, I was Miss School of Business, and I was active in like other like student government. I was on a committee for student council, the School of Business Council, and since my freshman year, and I'm active in like other things as well. I'm on the dance team, and then another organization just like for modeling, and so I've kind of been involved, I think, in a lot of different things at Howard since I've been there. But yeah, my first pageant actually ever was Miss School of Business, so that was my first queen anything.
Really?
Yeah.
So, like, what exactly inspired you to get into queendom? Like, was it anybody specific, or was it just like something you just like noticed on campus and wanted to get into?
Well, I mean, when I came to campus, the Miss Howard was Victoria Grimes, and I thought she was just so graceful and so poised, and I really admired her. But I honestly went to Howard wanting to be Miss Howard. So my mom actually, she went to Grambling, and she was Miss Grambling when she was there. So I'd always kind of, yeah, like I'd always known about it. But obviously, you know, made my own decision. I didn't just do it because I felt like my mom did it, so I want to do it. But so I've kind of always grown up knowing what that was. But then also since my parents, they actually met at Grambling, and everyone on my mom's side of the family either went to Grambling or Southern. So I go to the Bayou Classic every year. So always seeing like the Southern's Royal Court and Grambling's Royal Court, they're so, you know, magnificent and just beautiful. I always really admired that growing up as well. So I've always definitely just like had an eye for it. And when I, you know, did go to Howard, I knew that my senior year, like that was definitely something that I wanted to do.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I wanted to be Miss DSU since like my freshman year too. So I definitely felt that.
Yeah.
It's like you watch all of them every year, you're like, oh my God, I want that to be me, and it really happens. It's just like the best
Literally.
feeling. Like, I don't know, but so like during campaign season, you guys actually had campaign season before the whole COVID thing happened, right?
Yeah, it was like literally the week before. I was so thankful.
Really, you guys are so lucky. Wait, so like
No,
how
literally.
was it for you like doing that and then having to leave like as soon as you were elected, pretty much? How was campaign season for you in general?
So campaign season, I would say, when I tell you it was literally like the week before everything kind of blew up, it was the week before Howard's spring break, I believe. And that was when they kind of starting to be like, okay, well, you know, this COVID stuff is getting a little crazy, so y'all might not, like, Howard was like, yeah, just don't return. just don't come back after spring break. And so, but campaign season was, you know, just like any other, I'd say, campaign season, but campaign season at Howard is really cool because, you know, people really go all in. And I think just like a lot of other schools, like you see FAMU and Southern, they all have crazy campaign seasons with all these amazing things. And I would say at Howard, there's definitely, you know, people go crazy with the graphics, but it's also just, I would say more so the stuff that doesn't get posted on social media, like kind of the grassroots, like going, you know, being parked in front of different buildings on campus, passing out things, like people kind of do that a lot. And so I, you know, definitely was very nervous because it was just kind of like just something that I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. And then preparing for the pageant as well, I wanted to make sure that was bomb. So those things kind of, it was like if you weren't practicing for the pageant, you're getting campaign materials together, and if you weren't getting campaign materials and pageant practice together, you're preparing for the interview and portfolio and the other things that kind of go into our score as well. So yeah, it was definitely a lot. It was a lot, but it paid off. So
It definitely did. Wait, so I know at my school we have, like, how was y'all process? We have the interest meeting, then we fill out our application, interview, then 3 people make ballots. So at your school, is it like a certain limit of people you can run against, or is it like just...
Well, I know I'm pretty sure it kind of depends on how many people are applying. Even for just all the pageants, like there are some like schools and colleges where they may have like 8 girls and 4 guys, or 9 girls and 3 guys, or if it's more guys, then, you know, vice versa. But it's really, what's consistent across the board is like a 12-person max, so that it doesn't go beyond that, just 12 contestants, and then however the breakdown is between, the pageants are usually pretty long. But for Mr. and Miss Howard, actually, there was only 2 people who ran for Miss Howard and 5 guys who ran for Mr. Howard, which is like unheard of, at least at Howard. It's usually way more people running for Miss Howard than Mr. Howard. So that was kind of like the I guess, setup this year. And but between all the different pageants that was going on, because like all the pageants kind of happen around the same time too. It's the limit is 12, but usually if it's like packed and it's you have a good number of girls, good number of guys, they'll usually do it 6 and 6, unless it's just like, you know, there were only like so many guys who applied, or only 2 people in my case who applied for Miss Howard. But yeah, it's the interest meeting, application, and then beyond the application you get it's like kind of a first interview. So we really do 2 interviews. It's like that first interview to select the candidates, and then after that you have an official your Miss Howard interview that goes into your like score. And then we also have a portfolio that's just supposed to be a compilation of things that we've done on campus already and outlining our platform, things like that. Then we have the pageant and then voting.
Okay. Ours is pretty much the same way, except for the 12 people thing. It can only be 3 of us, but yeah.
Wow.
So, what was like your favorite part of campaign season? Like, what was the
I would say my favorite part was just walking around talking to people. I don't know. I like, because you don't even realize like how many people really go to the school. Just I like to think that Howard is kind of like relatively small compared to like other, I guess, public universities. And I feel like everyone knows each other, but just going on campus, walking around, talking to people, striking conversations, you realize how many people really do go to Howard. And I just enjoy like getting to know everyone and telling them like what I'm passionate about. Like, this is my platform, you know, I'd love your support and things like that. And I just got to know some really cool people, had some funny moments with people and things like that. So I would say that was probably like the funnest part for me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think funnest is a word. Most fun.
Yeah. Wait, like what? Okay, so what part was the least fun? That was the most fun. What part was like something that, not something that was bad, but one part that was like, okay, like a drag at a campaign season? For me, I would say the social media part, but you guys didn't have that problem. So what would you say?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm the type of person, like, I see a positive in every experience, but if I had to pick, I'd say the least fun part was like just the stress of everything, because it kind of, this year as opposed to other years, I felt like the timeline was just a little, I don't know, it was a little crunched, and so it just kind of felt like everything was really happening at once. And just the pressure of like everything, like feeling like, okay, my interview has to be tight, and my portfolio has to be great, and pageant has to be bomb, and all of that just happening at once, I would say is my least favorite part. But I like to think that I do well under pressure, so I guess it's kind of a positive and a negative. But definitely I was under a lot of stress. Like, I just remember waking up every day and being like, I cannot lose, like
like another day. Like, yes.
So yeah, that's what I would say was the least favorite part.
I definitely agree on that. So us being the 2020-2021 HBCU queens during a pandemic, during an entire Black Lives Matter movement, what's your take on everything that's going on? You know, like, we're missing a few major parts of our reign, but we have to remain positive. So like, how are you going about still being Miss Howard during everything that's going on and not folding, pretty much, still being positive and continuing to push forward?
Honestly, I think I just have a really great court. Like, everyone who's on my court, all the kings and queens, I think are taking a really positive outlook on everything, and they keep me very positive and uplifted. Even when times like I may feel like discouraged or feel kind of disappointed, like, dang, who would have ever thought that this would be going on while you know, we were all having this experience. They just stay very positive, and especially my Mr. Howard, Tim, he just, you know, said something that I feel like really stuck with me early on. He just kind of felt like, you know, our role in these positions is to show everybody that, or to empower everybody to, you know, see the glass half full. And that was kind of saying what he wants to do just as we matriculate through our reigns, like just kind of a recurring thing, that we can kind of be the you know, light at the end of the tunnel for people where they may really need it. So I think most definitely my big focus is going to be trying to make the best of things. If we have to program virtually, like, we still intend on hosting programs and really finding ways to enlighten the student body virtually, and we'll, whatever cards are thrown at us, we're going to try and make sure that we do the best that we can to make it a good year for everyone.
Exactly. You know, I feel the same way, because I feel like we're literally setting the tone, saying that it's way more than coronation, it's way more than a conference, because we don't even have that right now. So we have to still continue to work regardless, because we still have these titles. So I definitely agree, and that's really good. But besides that, like, right now, what else are you focused on when it comes to like your court? Like, do you guys still do bonding events? Do you guys, like, how are you guys making fun out of this crazy situation?
Yeah, we bond all the time. I have us do like Zoom bondings every weekend. And I usually have like a game that I'll like screen share, and then we all play together. So I definitely think it's really important that we are growing closer during this time. So I think it'll just make us a better team, like, at the end of the day, when it comes time to get down to business. And we have kind of started a little, sorry, I think my camera went out because I got a notification, but I think it'll just be beneficial for everybody. Like if we, you know, if we're a family, like before everything. So that's been a huge focus just in the interim. You know, we're kind of in that awkward in between where we're like on pins and needles waiting for what's going to happen in the fall. But we're still planning, still putting proposals together for events and things like that. But we've been doing a lot of bonding, which I really like.
I feel like that's the main, like me too, because we're continuing to have our weekly meetings, but it's like sometimes we don't have a topic because we don't know if we should be like, if we're going back. So it's like it's pretty much just getting to know each other at this point. But I feel like that's good. Like I said, we can see the beauty in everything. So
yeah.
But as far as being an HBCU queen, and we have to clearly hold ourselves to a higher standard and not just, we can't post anything that other people post. Like, how do you go about being relatable to the students, but at the same time being Miss Howard and presenting yourself well, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you still relate to the students and still, like, how do you still be Taylor and be Miss Howard at the same time without being too uptight, if that's how you, if you know?
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, like, I feel like I'm someone who wanted to be, like, in this position or be Miss Howard for genuine reasons. And I think that when your purpose, like, at its root is authentic, you don't have to, like, channel a whole lot of energy into, like, how am I going to be relatable and how am I going to be real and, you know, not carry myself away. Like, I just feel like if you're a humble leader, then that'll just show through your actions and it'll resonate just through like how you treat people. I think I'm very respectful for like just with people, and I don't I've seen like examples of when like you see people let positions come on the campus in general and even things outside of Howard, like internships or what have you, just in life. When you observe people who do kind of let things get to their head and don't stay true to who they are, it really translates. And I just never wanted to be that person. So I feel like that's something that I've always just like held close to my heart, and I try to translate through whatever I'm involved in. So I can't say I've put forth like this huge effort to make sure that I stay authentic and make sure that I'm doing this and that. I think I just literally remember to treat people how I know my mom raised me to treat people, and from that it's really just being yourself.
And being genuine. I love it. We have to remain humble throughout everything in life. That's key. That's everything.
Yes, like good things come. Exactly. I 100% believe in karma. Like what you put into the world is what you will get in return. So
I completely agree. Wait, so what's one thing that you're most excited about for the upcoming year? Like on a more positive note. Besides everything, like say in a perfect world, we go back in the fall, everything works out perfectly, we have all our conferences and everything. What's the main thing you're looking forward to?
I think I'm most excited to engage with the freshmen just because like I just remember my freshman year like it was yesterday, and I cannot believe I'm going into my senior year. And I just can't like I'm definitely a person who likes to be a mentor and just pour into people mistakes I may have made that I don't want them to make, or things that I feel like enlighten my experience that I want to recommend. Like I really enjoy talking to freshmen and just letting them know like the keys to Howard and the keys to life, internships, friendships, things like that. I really enjoy like seeing people and being like, wow, you have no idea like what is ahead of you. You have no idea what Howard is going to bring for you, and it's just very exciting. So definitely engaging with the freshmen, like doing freshman move-in and things like that. It's a really big deal at Howard. So I'm really excited too, and especially them being a class where they graduated from high school and didn't get a prom and didn't get a formal graduation. Like I'm very excited to just uplift them and reassure them that everything has a purpose and they have 4 years of just amazing opportunities ahead of them. So
yes, we love to see it. I was just saying the same thing to my court. Like I feel like we have to make it our duty to look out for that class because they didn't have prom.
Yeah,
because they graduated during the pandemic.
right.
Like, it's just, I don't know, like I feel so bad. I'm trying to think of, hopefully we can go back and like have a prom for them, or just it's just think of ways to make up for those missed experiences. Like, I just feel like that's our job. Like, I just feel like I have to do something to help them.
Exactly.
So what are your plans, like, post-graduation, besides, well, it's like, I know you said the Apple thing, but besides that, like, what do you want to do in life? Like, what's your end goal, pretty much?
Yeah, so I really love entertainment. So ideally, I would like to move to LA. And I used to like visit LA all the time when I was younger in the summers. My dad grew up there, so I've always just really loved the area. And but I like entertainment because I actually at Howard up until like my sophomore year, I was going down like a government affairs track, and but I had an internship with Uninterrupted, and it was kind of my first exposure to like the entertainment world, and I felt like it was a way I could be impactful because I wanted to positively affect Black kids. Before that, I wanted to work for the Department of Education, just as a policy advisor to look out for disenfranchised groups like young Black kids. But I realized that I could use entertainment to still positively affect them. And we have media all around us, literally everywhere we turn, on our phones, TVs, iPads, computers, what have you. Media is all around us. So if I can, do my part to make sure that the media that we always see is inclusive and diverse, then that's something I feel like will be super impactful. Because I know just growing up, I wish I kind of had more like positive portrayals of Black women in media. And especially for dark-skinned Black women, like you rarely, Black women and Black people as a whole, you very rarely see, but you very, very rarely see like dark-skinned Black women in media, and it's not this like typical, stereotype. So I really want to make sure I do my part to give young Black girls like varied, examples of what Black women are, because we are diverse and impactful. So that deserves to be represented in the media. So that's my overarching like goal and purpose that I want to do. So it doesn't matter to me if it's like in film or if it's network, or if it's like digital like content making companies, things like that. I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part to make sure that we're getting a lot of authentic representations.
I agree, and that definitely ties into like everything that's going on right now in the world. So we need people like you in the world. So I love it. Do you have any opinion on and like everything that's going on right now, the Black Lives Matter movement? Do you have any spill on how you feel about what's going on?
I feel like I'm very happy that, because I feel like when the Black Lives Matter movement was first budding, it was like this radical thing. Black Lives Matter was this radical statement, and I like that most companies like have put out statements, and at least we have the conversation going, and it's not like this marginalized, super radical group that it was being painted as. I'm glad that we are finally getting on board with the fact that Black Lives Matter is not an outrageous statement. It's it's literally human decency, like their minimum. So I'm very happy to see that. I do, I'm hoping that it's not just kind of a trend that businesses or companies are just trying to associate with their brand so that they seem more progressive and can draw in a more progressive audience. Like, I hope that it's a genuine concern of theirs and that they're going to invest money. Like, these companies make a lot of money. Like, I want them to invest in organizations that are looking to combat, because it's way bigger than just police brutality. I want to see people putting forth tangible, something tangible that's really going to help like this systemic issues, and not just oh, we believe Black Lives Matter. It's like, great, that's cool, but what are you doing to progress Black people? Because it's again, it's way bigger than police brutality. It's mass incarceration, it's disparities in education, it's literally, it's housing, like everything. It's everything. So I would love to see what people do to try and combat like what at the end of the day is a systemic issue. Like, racism is not a matter of well, I'm not racist, so like it's it's bigger than that. It's how it affects all of our different systems, all of the disenfranchised groups, you know. So I'm just hoping that it turns into something really substantive and it's not a, you know, fad, I guess. So that's my only reservation. But at the end of the day, I am happy that like it's getting a lot more coverage and that more companies are at the very least saying Black lives do matter. I think that that's a positive step.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about the companies. I just, like you said, I hope they're being genuine and not just saying it to boost their sales or for marketing purposes, because that would just be the most ignorant thing ever. But yeah, I love what everybody's doing. We're all coming together as a collective. I love to see it. So
yeah, and I feel like, honestly, because I know a lot of people have different opinions just about, like, I guess some of the like violent means of the protesting and things like that. And while I do think that, you know, violence isn't super constructive, I'm not going to say that it didn't bring attention to an issue. Now we have a whole lot of people talking about an issue that people may not have paid attention to had it not been for some of the, you know, more radical means of spreading awareness. So, you know, I think that I'm pretty sure Target even put out a statement saying that, you know, our stores can be rebuilt. So a lot of these places, excluding like mom and pop shops, I think that definitely is very like unfortunate. But, you know, all the big corporations, like the Wendy's, like nobody's worried about. They'll be fine. They'll be able to rebuild.
They're rich.
You know, they'll be able to rebuild it. But Black lives cannot be rebuilt. So I guess, you know, that's my opinion on that element.
I completely agree. Yeah, I just hope everybody, like you said, it's not a trend. I want everybody to continue to keep, even if you're not posting about it, I'm not saying flood your story, but you should at least be doing something, finding your role in this movement to push us forward.
Exactly. So. It doesn't mean you have to be at the protest. It doesn't mean, you know, for some people that's being front lines in the streets in the protest. For other people, that's donating. For other people, it's educating. You know, whatever it is, as long as we're all contributing to the movement, like that's all I think anybody can really ask for.
Exactly, as long as you're doing something. Exactly. But yes, you seem like a very well-rounded queen. You have your head on straight. I feel like it's going to be a great year. I look forward to being your sister queen. I feel like it's going to be really fun. But did you have any final words for everybody that's here? I know it's a lot of freshmen on here. It's freshmen from my school. I don't know if it's freshmen from your school.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, just for like freshmen, my biggest piece of advice, and really just anybody, like you're moving on, you just recently graduated from college and moving to a new chapter in your life, or it's just, you know, another year, I would say that like my biggest my thing that I'll be the most proud of, like when I graduate from Howard, is that like everything that I wanted to do, I at least tried to go after. And like I got some no's and I got some yeses, but at the very least I put myself out there. And the platform I ran on was called All In, and it was really just all about that, willing to bet on yourself, and willing to go after these experiences that you want. Because the people that you see who are in these, you know, positions like Miss Howard and Miss Delaware State, like the only thing that really separates like us from, you know, it's really just being willing to bet on yourself and your capabilities, and just go after it. Like, do what you need to do to prepare yourself. And if you receive a no, that's fine, because there's beauty in all the experiences. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Like, whatever it is that you feel like you want to do, the sky is the limit. As cliche as it is, there's literally nothing stopping you. So yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. It was great. Thank you so much. So thank you guys for joining. We're going to sign off in a couple minutes. Yeah, thank you guys for listening, and stay tuned for more Queen Talks.
Black Lives Matter. Don't
thank you.
Bye.
Black Lives Matter forever. Don't stop saying it.
Right, forever.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you, Queen. Bye. Okay. That was Miss Howard, everyone. So before I leave, make sure you guys check the link in the bio and check out A Queen's Pain. It's a great book by Randall Barnes. So make sure you guys check that out. And thank you everyone for joining. Have a great night. Stay safe, and Black Lives Matter.